like is that I can make stuff with my Chalk Couture products, and I can sell them. So I don't have to worry about, I do have a Cricut, so I don't have to worry about, did I buy the commercial license font? Did I buy the commercial license image? Everything that you make with Chalk Couture you can sell. So you don't have to worry about that commercial licensing. If you use a Chalk Couture product, you can put it on boards and you can sell those boards. And you can make a company out of that. So that really takes a lot of the stresses out of making sure that you are legally doing something correct, instead of having to search and everything like that as well. So I kind of like that as well. It makes it easy and stress-free. Another thing is the sizes of these silk transfers is the size that you have. So when I use my Cricut in design space, I'm like, do I need to make this an inch bigger? Do I need to enlarge this? Am I stretching this too much? All the guesswork is out. This is the size that you have. Now they have like a hello. They have it in like a small and a large size. So if you have a small project, you're gonna use the small one. If you have a large project, you're gonna use the large one. And so it takes a lot of the pressure off of having to design an image, which I kind of like, because it's like, did I do it right? Does it look good? Do I need to redo it? Things like that. And then because you can use it multiple times, I'm not having to cut the same image out 10 times if I want to make this board 10 times, Another neat thing is, I don't know how many of you guys use your Cricut or not, but making signs using your Cricut is like a huge thing. Actually, making signs in general is very popular right now. But I bet you guys don't know how much work goes into making those signs. It takes a lot of time to make those signs, and that's probably when you go to your local crafts fairs and things like that, you'll see them for like $40, and you're like, oh my gosh, no. But they put in a lot of time. They get the wood, they stain it, you gotta wait for it to dry, and then they have to cut out their design in the Cricut. They have to weed it, which means they have to remove the in this part, you see the white, they have to remove the section that's white. So when they peel it off, they just have to paint the white part in. And what they have to do is they put it onto the surface, and then a lot of people worry about those crisp lines. Well, those crisp lines, I've seen the best way to make those is that they Mod Podge over the vinyl, and then they paint it. And then they might paint it 2 times to get that color to really pop out. So then they're having to use multiple brushes, they're having to use multiple coats, and then when they peel it off, they're hoping for those clean, crisp lines. With this one, I don't have to worry about bleeding, especially with wood. Wood bleeds a lot because of it's porous. So that takes out a lot of the guesswork. So it's just so much easier. It's stress-free. I don't have to worry about all those things that go into making a sign or making a product using my Cricut. Will I still use my Cricut? Yes, I'll probably still use my Cricut for other things, but if I want to make a sign, or if I want to put something on glass, metal, whatever it may be, Chalk Couture is going to be the easier and faster way for me. That's just what it comes down to. So that's why I've really liked Chalk Couture a lot. I hope I've answered a lot of your guys' questions, or what your thoughts were. But if you have any questions or anything, I will 100% answer them honestly. So if you have a question like, well, why don't, here's a question, why don't you just cut out your designs on your Cricut and use your Cricut and then just use the chalk base? Okay, well, the vinyl is actually, believe it or not, it's actually kind of thick when you weed it out, and you can't see the white, but the white actually has a mesh netting. So what that means is that allows a thin layer to be applied to your surface without having to use a lot of chalk paste. With the vinyl, there's no mesh, so then you're using a lot of chalk paste to fill in those holes. And when you're using making those big signs, that's going to take a lot of chalk paste versus just using the silk screen that has that mesh netting in it. So there's also that drawback too. So, you know, I've looked at it. I've tried to figure out, well, what if I did it this way? What if I did it that way? How would that work? I've gone through it. I've tried it out, tested it out. If you have a suggestion and you want me to test it out for you, I'll do it. I'll try it and tell you what I find out. But so if you guys have any questions at all, just let me know. Or if you have any interest, let me know as well. But I think it's, like, again, I think there's something in there for everybody. You know, the chalk paste is $8.99. I think it will last you a long time. You know, they have little transfers as cheap as $6.99 on up to, I think the most expensive one I've seen is $62.99, but you get a lot of pieces in it. Like, I got a whole alphabet and like the first and the third and the second and like the and signs and the hashtags and stuff like that. I got all that for $42.99. So also, you have to also think about the size and how much you're getting with it. So so I hope you guys share the video. I hope you guys talk about Chalk Couture, you think about it. And again, if you guys have any questions, just ask me. I've probably thought of that question already and asked myself that, and I will answer them as honestly and truthfully as possible. So don't hesitate to ask. But you guys have a great rest of the day. Thanks.